So a little disclaimer about this video is going to be, it's a little boring. I try to talk it through a little bit, but I do need to get some concentration. I do develop in the middle a little thing to help me, which I don't know why I didn't think of it before, duh, but you'll see. It's just a little technique that, some of the, not some, but the other sword polishers in Japan that they use. But I hope you enjoy it. I hope that you get something out of it. That's what this is all about. This isn't about inflating my ego or whatever. Like the other guy said, it's not about me giving you my family life vlog. This is about knife sharpening and polishing and reviewing knives and stones and swords. So anyway, appreciate you guys. Enjoy the video. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of EdgeWorks Knife Studio. Got the Katana video for you today. You guys have, quite a bit of you have asked for that video, so we're going to go ahead and do that. Wanted to go ahead and mention that Wednesday is the giveaway drawing for everything, including the redraw that Power AI generously donated back to everyone. So that'll be drawn, as well as all the winners for all the good stuff. So be sure we tune in. I haven't decided if I'm going to do it in a live stream or I'll just pre-record it and do it that way. But we'll figure that out when we get to it. Wanted to show you guys something. Got everything set up different today, so I'm going to bring this over to you real quick. So I got in the mail, and this is one of the reasons why I withheld doing the Ruxin as well, because I can do this all at once. So you'll see my DMD crap. This is a DMD pouch, right? Protective case. And I took everything out of it, of course. And if you guys are on Reddit, you saw my post. But what this is their fixed angle sharpening system. And here it is right here. So this is a very nice unit. I've not used it a lot so far, so I'm going to do a review on it. I'm going to do side by side with the Zarlik. I'm going to compare them, as well as the Ruxin stones, the DMD stones, etc. But there's the thing I've bragged about before. It's the simplest little thing, right? But it's that little catch back here, so that whenever you go and your freaking rod's not flopping everywhere. I hate it when my rod flops everywhere. Gets me in a lot of trouble. This is a spring-loaded. They're all spring-loaded, I guess, to a degree. But to flip the knife, you just flip it, right? It's springed. These clamps are very similar to TS Prof. They're smaller and they slide on a rail system here. I'll go into all that with the video that I do on it. But just to tell you, so far from my use, this thing is pretty doggone good. I don't know the pricing yet, and they were supposed to be on Amazon already, but I did not see them, so Amazon may have not gotten all their stock yet. Whenever it is available, I'll let you guys know. But just so you know, preliminary results are in, and it's great. This is one of my test knives, and I don't know if it will focus or not. Well, you can see the mirror on it there. But I was able to set, oh gosh, I was able to set whatever degree angle edge that I wanted to put on it. That one I put a 13.8, right? And the reason I could do that is obviously I have my own leveler, but it comes with this little guy. So it's just a little angle guide, little digital angle guide. Comes with it, rechargeable, it's great. So anyway, not too much about that. I just want to let you guys know that that was one of the reasons I'm held up the Ruxin video. Also, apparently, according at least to one Redditor, that they don't have time to watch me do these videos with their current length. They say that I ramble on too much. I know that I talk quite a bit, but I'm mostly trying to get information out for you guys. But I wanted to know, I wanted to take a poll. Do you guys think I need to shorten it some? And again, no doubt I can be long-winded. 100% get that. But as you guys know, my goal is always to be raw and real. So I don't want to edit or cover up a mistake or anything of that nature. I want to make sure you're seeing what I'm doing, right? So there's never any guess or doubt about it, right? Because I could take a knife and say, I sharpened that in just a few passes, you know, and edit it all up, right? When it really took me longer, you know, just to try and sell a product. I would much rather do it, you know, the whole thing. But if that's too much, let me know. Maybe I could do a mixture of longer videos and shorter videos, because I surely don't have a problem editing them. So let me know. I just appreciate you guys' input as always. So remember, with the giveaway, this is your last day to get an entry. And those entries are by being a subscriber to the channel and by commenting on the videos for the last 3 weeks, including today's. So make sure that you do that. Otherwise, you will not be entered into the giveaway. We're giving away carbon knives, stones, wax, strops, you know, like cash. I'm kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyway, so I got the sword, and we're going to go ahead and get her going here in just a second. But what I've chosen to sharpen this thing with is the good old and glorious the King L400. There's many reasons why I chose this stone. 1, it's huge. 2, it's just like the 300, and that's where I left off. As you can see here, that's the L400, and holding it in my hands, as you can see here, this thing is a massive little chunk. If I compare it to the counterpart, which is what I was using, and that is the King 300 here. Let me grab it. Let me grab it, rabbit. And also, I'm taking you over to my slop sink. So here is the 300 in comparison with the 400. And as you can see, the freaking size difference. I mean, this thing is a hunk of stone. So we'll go ahead and use that. And I think that's just kind of, honestly, in my opinion, it falls in line with tradition. Whenever you see them sharpening swords, they've got those bigger stones and whatnot. So let's go ahead and get it done. I have already flattened this, so, or lapped it, whatever you want to say. But we'll go ahead and get moving. I will need to move this camera once I swap to the other side. Obviously, because this thing, it's gonna get, the camera will get in the way and I'll hit it. So what we're gonna do, and I got this towel here because it's hurting my hand to hold on to the bottom section here. So get that wrapped up real quick. So swords, much like anything else, let me turn that light off. You've got your beveled edge, right? So if you see how you got your little blood groove, or I forgot the actual name of it, but you got a little taper. So let me get a little closer there. So from here all the way down to the edge, it forms that V. Okay, you know, so your edge essentially exaggerated looks like that. These are basically zero edges, so you can put a micro bevel on these, but why? They're not made that way whenever they come to you. This came with a zero edge, so to speak. I hate using that term because I don't know if it's ever really exactly right, but anyway. So a zero edge, of course, is instead of being a 15 degree or whatever, it's 0, because you're going to go from here to here and you're just going to meet. You're not putting an additional bevel here. So you're literally forming down to 0. But is it really truly 0? That's where I get into that. So anyway, so what we're going to do is we're going to place the stone just the same way as we do when we polish. Place the sword on the stone. And just like anything else, right, if this sits here flat, so to speak, you got that, where it rocks down. Let's see if I can bring you in a little closer here. Probably not. But, you know, because you got the pivot. So whenever you pivot it, this entire face from this spot down to the actual edge itself is going to rest on the stone. And that's how we're going to, number one, fix the stupid scratches I made trying to sharpen it by putting a slight little bevel. You can probably see some of them if I bring you up close here. I did a decent job, but it was just not what I wanted. So we're going to remove those. And as you can see on this side, I've already started, which we'll go ahead and do it again. This side shiny, this side no shiny. But that's because I've already started. And we're going to just sharpen, polish, whatever, this entire surface, this entire flat, so to speak. And by doing that, what you'll do is you'll bring the material down to that V again, and it will form on both sides a zero edge, and you'll have an actual edge. That's just the best way for me to explain it. I'm not a professional sword polisher, right? I'm just doing this for me. But I've been intimidated, which is the reason why you guys wanted to see this, and the reason I wanted to do it, is the way that I personally have discovered to do it is not intimidating at all. It's super simple, and it's the easiest thing to me to do. So if we put the sword on here, it's just like any single bevel knife, right? So we're flat. We're going to press on it like we do with any knife. Now we're completely tilted. So this entire face on the opposite side is touching the stone. I'm going to give it a little bit more water because this stone's a little thirsty. Okay. Put our fingers on there just like we would with a knife. And here we go. This is going to be a little bit more difficult. I got to get these wires out of the way. God. Bear with me, guys. I apologize. I don't want to cut things here. Let me drag this back some. Well, that actually would help too, huh? I took that off so I could show you guys I never secured it back in. Okay, try again. Again. Gosh, you need a whole lot of room too, guys. So, never, ever did I think this would be this difficult on this side of the thing. Let me hold this a little closer too so I got more control. That's the probably hardest part of this whole thing is control. You hear that? We're gonna move this too. I cleared this whole area out today in anticipation of this. Another thing that I've done too, and you know, I saw a post on this as well, and it makes sense. You know, before I've mentioned counting, and the only reason I've ever mentioned like 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, so on for strokes, is because it just kind of gives you a consistency baseline. I'm hitting that, so we'll move that. So that you just have consistent, what am I trying to say? Consistent scratch patterns and consistent material removal, right? But it is kind of a bad habit. I heard someone say that, and I get it, because then you get locked into just only counting. And a lot of times you can just go and base it off of the burr. In this case, we're not working up a burr, but working the burr, which is the most important part. So, while I don't really see a problem with counting, it can become a bad habit if you only rely on counting and nothing else. So relying on counting and checking the burr, you know, that's a better idea. Anyway, just food for thought. I'll see what anybody else thinks about it. The thing that's most difficult about this is it's so long, and you have so much that you have to do. And this thing, man, I almost wonder if running water would not be better for this. Now that I'm not down at the base anymore, it's a little easier. You're just looking to scratch off the old stuff. what I plan on doing is getting this down to, not down to, up to, I don't know, 6,000 grit using a King, you know, the King 6000 is kind of what I was thinking. Because that leaves a nice, beautiful, like mirror polish. So I don't know. I'm not going for a Kasumi because, like I said, this is just like a 1066 or 1080 or whatever the steel is for this one. Now the one that I have with a Hamon, I would probably do things a lot differently with it as far as the stones I use. So I'm keeping myself stable back here. And then of course I'm guiding and putting pressure with my left hand. But you need to make certain that you keep this thing level, because you don't want to like start scratching stuff all the way up here or wear this down up here or anything like that. It's not that you can't fix those things, it's just a pain, you know. So keep that in mind. Just be conscientious of what you're doing. And where you're sharpening, check it every once in a while. I'm gonna give it a little bit extra, like water more than a spray bottle here. And I'll check this while I'm doing it, just to kind of look at things here. I like to do that, just let the hose rest on it. It'll eventually fall off. One time I got sprayed in the face. Serves me right, I guess. Alright. So it looks pretty uniform. I don't know how well that'll come up, especially with the mood lighting I got going on this side of the fence here. But it doesn't look half bad. And you could always go over it multiple times. I'm not going to do this side very much because I've already done this side once with the 300. So I am going to do it now, but I'm going to put more focus on the other side. There we go. A little more water makes life easier. This is my, this is a Suhiro sink bridge or a Nanawa, I don't remember. Gosh, that's awful. It might be Suhiro. It's a good one. I like it. It's served me well. I use it with my little tub that you guys normally see me sharpen on. I just haven't used it in a long time in favor of the DMD one. This is where it gets really crazy now because my hand's all the way up here on the top. My other hand's like way back here, like 6 feet it feels like off of the freaking stone. So feeling for for level, it's a battle because you're pushing with both with this hand and the hand back here, which is it's where it really gets challenging. And it's okay to just slow down. Don't be afraid to go slow. What I'm kind of doing too is you'll notice because of my angle. So instead of like being all like horizontal, which that's not perfect horizontal, I'll just give an example like this, you know, got our normal 45-ish degree, and I'm kind of, what I'm doing is I'm kind of pushing, as you see there. So I'm like starting here and then moving the sword itself from here to here. So I'm covering quite a bit of ground at the same time. That's very helpful. It helps you, like I said, cover a lot of ground. It also helps to ensure that you are moving in a level line, because you can kind of, I mean, you'll be able to feel it if you like wreck off with any of those center points. So just kind of food for thought there too. It helps you get like just more done, as well as like pushing too. Oop, I soldered that, I forgot. Because instead of just trying to push it straight up like this, you're just kind of scooching it a little bit. Because if you're just trying to push both of these things up with your right hand pushing the right side here forward and this pushing forward, it's gonna be a lot more hell in it than you want. I'm trying not to cut myself. Yeah, I can see it in the newspaper. Man cuts stomach open, sharpening katana for YouTube. Since my wife's grossed out by blood and stuff, she'd probably end up letting me bleed out, collect the insurance check. I could technically put gloves on and hold it up higher, but I don't know. I don't have the gloves here, otherwise maybe I'd do it. I could maybe use this rag, I guess. Let's just see. I never thought about it like that, but I thought while I'm sitting here looking like a moron, it's actually much better. Good Lord. See the things I'm learning even while teaching you guys. Like I said, this is just my method I'm showing you that I've come up with that works for me. I don't know. This is not exactly the right way, but it is a way. Again, just making sure that surface is flat against the stone. Okay, give a quick little look-ski. And it looks pretty even. Now we're going to go to the tip. So the tip is like, it's pretty much the same all the way through here. And then you got this taper right at the tip. So I don't know how well that, yeah, you can kind of see it there against the white, even though it's a little blurry. So that whole back spine area is one thickness, but then you get to right there on the tip. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see it really, but it tapers out. It comes to a nice thin. Can I do that? Yeah, kinda. I ain't gonna spend a lot of time trying to show it. It's probably what the guy's talking about. So you just gotta kind of do like you do with a knife when working with like a curved belly. At least this is what I do. You'll find your flat here, and you raise it up to where so this is how I normally was, like this, with this is all flat. So then I just find it here and rock it until it's flat. That was crazy. Hold on here. Goodness. Kind of having to rock it back a little bit because of where this is sitting. Because if you can see, before I put my crazy muddy hands over it, you got the flat just like you do here, and then you got this little area at the top that is just like this. It doesn't have a groove in it, but it, you kind of got a little semicircle there. So we're just gonna make sure it gets polished and sharpened all the way up there. And again, this is exactly how I would do it with a knife. It's easier with a knife because these curves aren't exactly the same. On a knife is much easier. Okay, and now because I did this section here first. Now I'm going to do the tippy tip. Now that's kind of tilted up a lot higher. And I'll kind of, sometimes what I'll do is follow the actual the edge path, and I'll kind of do like a little whoop, like I've done on a knife many a time. Anyway, just food for thought. You'll have to find your own method that works for you. I do need to do a little more edge work real quick. Ah, edge work, there you go. How interesting. I'm using quite significant pressure. I'm not pushing through the daggum thing, but I am not being gentle about it either. I'm just checking it all, make sure it looks uniform. I'm going to hit this little spot right here. But yeah, I'm the pressure I'm using, it's more than I would do obviously for sharpening. Less than I would do for chip repair. I think that's a good way to kind of analyze it there. All right, so I'm going to double check this whole thing and just make sure that it all looks good. Another thing too is you'll see back here, this is where the actual handle would go and all the decorative pieces, the suba and everything. So if you get it back towards the tang, it's not going to hurt anything. And it doesn't matter what it looks like, obviously, because it's going to be covered up. So you can do whatever you want. But you can see there's some difference here. Maybe you can see that, maybe not. Where it doesn't go all the way to the top real quick. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to fix that before we move to the other side. Just be a super quick little thing. Just follow the same process. Just go to that spot and you work your pressure now because it's up higher. I'm going to work the pressure up higher just a little bit. And I'm just going to... I'm poking these metal bottles up there from doTERRA. They're probably going to end up freaking leaking on me. I think we should be good. Okay. It does appear so. And now we're going to move you guys. I say we. Maybe I've got multiple personalities. Huh? Let me rinse this real quick. I'm going to flush the stone. I will check it to make sure real quick with a diamond plate just to make sure it's true. Okay. All right. Now, we're back on the other side here. I'm going to move this stuff on the washing machine. Get these things out of my way. Make sure my reach is good. All right, we're going to double check this. I'm going to lap this real fast. This is my 140 grit diamond plate, plated diamond plate from Chef Knives to Go. I'm not even going to put pencil marks on it because I'm just going to do it real quick. Get a little agua. Putting pressure. Getting our little stuxies there. Give it one more quick little pass. Want to make sure these edges don't need chamfering. Okay. I did see that the top and bottom do. This feels fine, so I don't need to worry about that. Okay. Onward, ho. Man, I hope you guys had a good weekend. Anybody do anything fun or exciting? Okay, I'm gonna start all the way like this. You can kind of see, yeah, my left hand now holding the tang. There we go. I think I barbecued every day this weekend. I usually do anyway. My wife loves my barbecue. And I love barbecuing anyway. Got a little bit of a burr on this side, so I'm gonna go slow for a second. Oh my God, water. So this is going to be a little stickier simply because first, this side is still polished. So you still got a side or part that, let me show you. You got your shiny part, and then now what we just did. So it's gonna get scuffed up. It's gonna drag a little bit. That's normal. Nothing to worry about. You can do like this too. I've seen videos of Japanese sword people, swordsmiths and stuff. They'll grab the sword like this, and you don't want to put your palm obviously on the edge because you don't want to cut yourself because you're going to use pressure and force. But you just kind of wrap it around, and that way you're holding it flat. You can do it this way. In fact, I may do this whole side this way. Because that just kind of makes sense. Sometimes angle, and like for me, space is a huge factor. Space can really play a role in whether or not you can do something like that. But let's just go. Actually, nice, everything's joining in. I must be putting a little bit of pressure on. So, something I just realized here that I need to be careful of is I am cutting into the stone a little bit. So what I'll do is I'm going to use less pressure or no pressure on the return. So what happened is whenever I would come back towards with the edge leading stroke, I felt like I was digging into the stone some. So I'm just going to put the pressure on the back stroke like this, get it all set, and then just let go. And I think that has to do with the fact that now I'm getting significantly more pressure on the stone and the sword because I'm using two hands and I'm pushing pretty hard. So, well, what I say by pretty hard is definitely harder than just regular ass putting it on the stone. You know what I mean? So pressure, release, pressure, release. Yeah, I'm running into an issue. It has to do with angle. Nothing to do with that angle over there. It's this back angle, so I'm going to modify. I'm going to angle this, like instead of, because I was doing like this, now I'm going to do like a 45-ish. I got to be careful because I'm going to puncture the washer hoses. There we go. Bring this up some. Just trying not to cut my hands. You know, I don't need to cut it every time I do a video. My wife already calls me clumsy. It's out of love. Oop, little cut into it there. It's making a good amount of mud too, which is good. And if you've not had a chance to use the King 300 or this L400, I'm telling you, get one. You can get this L400. I got it from MTC Kitchen, and I paid like, I want to say 50 or 60 bucks for it. That's a great price if you ask me, especially for how much stone you get. You're going to grind so many knives. It really does do a good job. And I've always loved my 300. And this is essentially just a really, really big 300, even though it's a 400. Number one, if it was true with the grits, and this really was 400 and the other one was a 300, and it's not just, you know, essentially the same stone with a little different, I don't know, marketing on it or something, 100 grit's not going to make a difference anyway. But yeah, I mean, this stone, it's just one of the better grinders that I've had. It just feels good. It's got that nice kind of pasty feel that I like. I don't use it a lot. And I don't know why. I think it's because I just have so much stuff. This actually makes it easier, by the way, to keep the bevel rocked onto the stone, because it allows me to kind of grab underneath of it. So I can wrap my fingers under here, kind of give it like a little book. Then I can maintain that as I'm pressing. It does get away from me a little bit, a little squirrely. Has to do also with me trying to go fast. You know, I don't want to like bore you guys, you know. If you ask that one guy. I should do a vlog. That was a suggestion. And I'm not bashing the guy. I mean, he's entitled to his opinion 100%. And I get it. I 100% get it. I know. It's hard to watch videos sometimes that are as long as mine. And, you know, I always said I'll always be upfront and transparent too. If I'm being honest, you know, YouTube, in order to hit certain goals, you know, you got to follow whatever their goal set is. And one of their goals is, in order to get monetization, like for example, where you get mid-roll ad revenue, you have to either have, you have to have 1,000 subscribers. You have to have 4,000 hours of freaking video watch hours. Not, you know, like actual people watching for 4,000 hours. And you have to do it in 365 days. It doesn't count from like the beginning of time for your channel. So I kind of sometimes don't edit them like too short, so that if there are people that watch them and they watch them all the way through, I get more time. And like I said, that's me being honest. The other thing is, or it doesn't have to be 4,000 hours. It could be also 10 million short views. What? Anyway. That's just a little insight into that. Yeah, to do the super chats and stuff, which I do have enabled for that monetization, you have to have 500 subscribers and 3,000 hours. I think, or 5 million, or 3 or 5 million short views was the other alternative. which, my gosh, you know, and I know shorts can generate a lot of views, but I don't know that sharpening content does it? I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyway, I appreciate you guys and your help getting me to these goals, which is why, I mean, it's a lot of work, and that's why I don't forget it, and I give back, you know. I think you guys deserve it. I've always, like when I streamed, I was the same way. Always giving stuff away. And again, in the continuing with the theme of being honest, some of it, that's what it takes to attract people. You know, get them in there with some freebies, but maybe they like the content. I don't know, maybe they don't. But they're definitely going to stay long enough for the freebies at a minimum. But that's whenever you get your chance, right? It's kind of like that, you know, you may not get the job, but you get a chance to wow them in the interview, right? And if you do good enough in that interview, maybe, just maybe, you just need your shot, right? Or in my case, you just need your shots. So it's hard to do with the angle that I have, with what I was doing, which I'm going to tell you made it significantly easier. But I can't. It's hard right now with I got a board over here with my towels on it and stuff for wiping all this stuff down. They're all kind of getting in the way, which is fine. I know what to do now though, so I can set up this bench area and do more videos over here because I kind of like it. Got the water source. Now I'm putting my palm on here instead of my fingers. And actually that's kind of helping stabilize. I think it's giving me the proper pressure that I want. I did feel myself pull up a couple of times, so I'll slow it down. Otherwise, that's working out really good. So, look, I'm sitting here polishing a sword, right? We're not going to get much. So what I'll probably do is edit it to the end. But just so you guys know, like, I mean, that's my process. It's not perfect, but it gets the job done. I think this is easier than a lot of the ways I've seen before. I've seen guys that have taken them with the handle on and doing like this number here, like you would with a knife. You know, sharpening it back and forth like that. There's no way. I would not do that. But to each their own. That is a way, right? So that's why I just started to do it this way. This way works. It works for all my knives that I do it with. It allows you to go at your pace, you know? So anyway, if you received some knowledge, I would appreciate a comment and maybe a like, you know? You don't have to, just saying, if you did. Or just give me some comments too. Like I said, I know this is not the right way, but give me your thoughts. Well, I mean, what would you do different, right? Because honestly, I would try it. I'm not one of those guys that's dead set in his way and it's his way or no way or none of that kind of stuff. Like, I am 100% all about learning. If you got a new method, please teach me. And I'll try it. Anyway, I'm going to roll to the outro here. All right, guys, so there you have it. A little boring, and I do apologize. But I needed concentration, and I was trying to talk it through a little bit of my process. I hope that helped some of you that are maybe trying to do something like this. You can apply those same tactics. Obviously, the holds would be different, but to doing knives, such as the ones that I've already done, you know, and I've shown you before with thinning and focusing on the specific bevel areas, right? Flattening or thinning, or doing a polish, a Kasumi polish and whatnot. I will be finishing some of those up with other videos as well. But yeah, just remember to be sure and leave a comment and be a subscriber of the channel. And on Wednesday, I'm doing a drawing for multiple items, not just one, not two, not just three, multiples. Various different items, like I said, carbon steel, Japanese chef knife, you know, whetstones, strops, board wax, you know, all kinds of stuff. Maybe I'll give away a cutting board, I don't know. But it's all for you guys who have supported me, and I appreciate that support so much. Like, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. And I'm sorry that if my content sometimes is long, hopefully that explanation helped. But I do appreciate you guys from the bottom of my heart. So without further ado, I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Be sure that you, like I said, subscribe, comment, and I'll get you in there. And I hope that you win. So good luck to everybody. Until then, I hope you have a good week and the rest of your weekend as well. Peace.